we see Frieren wandering through a dense forest where she encounters a mysterious man, partially submerged in a bottomless swamp. His visage is shadowed by regret as he recounts his once vibrant spirit for adventure. In his youth, he was filled with dreams of exploration, spurred on by his closest friend. However, adulthood brought responsibilities and fears that caused him to decline his friend's offer for a true adventure. Now, trapped and reflecting on his choices, he asks Frieren for help, though she hesitates, wary of his dirty hand. As Frieren contemplates the man's plea, Fern arrives. Understanding the gravity of the man's situation, she persuades Frieren to assist him. The man, now free from his predicament, expresses his gratitude to Fern and extends an invitation to his village, noting his participation in the preparations for the harvest festival. Frieren, however, declines the invitation, focused on their journey to a larger town. The trio's plans are abruptly altered when Stark gets bitten by a poisonous creature, compelling them to return to the man's village for aid. Upon reaching the village, they make their way to the local church, seeking assistance. The priest there instructs them to wait for his brother, who can help with Stark's condition. Soon, the man from the forest, who introduces himself as Sane, arrives and administers an antidote to Stark. To Frieren's surprise, the priest recognizes her and mentions that Heiter, a mutual acquaintance, had spoken of her during his travels and left behind a holy symbol. As they converse, the priest shares details of their past, revealing the adventurous nature that once defined Sign and recounting the tragic loss of their parents. Despite Sign's current state, the priest believes in his potential and implores Frieren to take Sign along on their journey. This suggestion sparks a discussion among Frieren, Fern, and Stark at a local inn. While Frieren remains unsure, Stark takes the initiative to speak directly with Sign, hoping to gauge his interest in joining them. Stark finds Sign and proposes that he join their group. However, as they converse, Stark becomes aware of Sign's corruption and hesitates. Sign, sensing Stark's reluctance, challenges him to a gambling game, promising to join them if Stark wins. The tension rises, and soon, Fern and Frieren hear Stark's screams, prompting them to rush to his aid. They discover that both Stark and Sane have lost all their belongings to the village chief in the gambling competition. Sign, feeling defeated and unworthy of the adventurer's path, declines their invitation once again. His words resonate deeply with Frieren, reminding her of her own past excuses when Himmel invited her to join his party. Determined to rekindle Sane's spirit, Frieren recalls Himmel's advice about focusing on the present rather than dwelling on the past. She tries to inspire Sane by sharing her own experiences and the wisdom she gained from Himmel. Meanwhile, Fern takes matters into her own hands and negotiates with the village chief to retrieve their belongings. Successfully recovering their items, she informs the group of the chief's invitation to stay for the harvest festival. Despite their best efforts, Frieren realizes that merely retrieving their belongings is not enough to restore Sane's adventurous spirit. Seeking further insight, they consult Sane's brother, who reveals more about Sane's preferences, including his affection for older women. In a light-hearted attempt, Frieren tries to use a seductive technique she learned from Flam to persuade Sane, but it proves ineffective. Sane remains steadfast in his refusal, expressing his deep-seated fears and regrets. He is haunted by the thought of never seeing his childhood friend again, and feels a sense of duty towards his brother, believing he cannot leave his village behind. He reveals that he overheard a conversation between his brother and Heiter, in which Heiter offered his brother a prestigious priesthood in the holy capital. His brother declined, choosing instead to stay and protect Sane's way of life. In a dramatic and emotional turn, Sane's brother confronts him, slapping him and urging him to pursue his dreams to avoid a lifetime of regret. This moment of tough love rekindles a spark within Sane, who finally agrees to embrace his adventurous spirit. He decides to become an adventurer, driven by the hope of finding his lost friend, though he only promises to travel part way with Frieren and her companions. As they journey onward, Sane inquires about their destination, his curiosity piqued by the promise of new adventures. Fern and Stark engage in a heated argument because Stark failed to get Fern a gift for her birthday. Frustrated and upset, Stark storms out of the room. Observing the tension, Sane seeks intel from Frieren to understand the root of the problem. Frieren and Sane encourage Fern to reconcile with Stark, emphasizing the importance of communication and understanding. Later, Fern spots Stark wandering in the plaza but hesitates to approach him. She then notices Sane browsing at a nearby shop and joins him. They engage in a discussion about the nuances and significance of gift-giving, each sharing their perspectives and experiences. Sane suggests that Fern apologize to Stark and that they pick out a gift together. Fern, taking Sane's advice to heart, approaches Stark. Stark immediately apologizes for his actions, explaining that he had wanted to explore the town to find the perfect gift, but wasn't confident in his choice. Fern also apologizes for her reaction, and they decide to search for a gift together, hoping the experience will bring them closer. Meanwhile, Sane catches Frieren spying on Fern and Stark from a rooftop. Intrigued, he joins her, and they discuss the evolving relationship between Fern and Stark. Frieren reminisces about her own experiences, sharing stories about her life with Hyder, providing insights into relationships and personal growth. Sane is surprised by Frieren's comments since he had always viewed Hyder differently. Frieren recalls the time she spent with Hyder when he was elderly, and Fern was still a child. Hyder had confided in her that he didn't believe he had matured at all and felt like he was only pretending to be an adult. He expressed hope that the goddess would praise him for his efforts and reward him in heaven. Frieren had promised to praise Hyder while he was still alive, and Hyder in turn had promised to put in a good word for her when he reached heaven. After spending some time in town, the scene shifts to our heroes traveling again via a merchant's wagon. During the journey, Frieren notices that Fern is wearing a new bracelet, one that closely resembles a bracelet Himmel had given her in the past. Before Frieren can further investigate, the wagon is suddenly attacked by an avian monster. Frieren quickly devises a plan to ensure everyone's safety, and together they fend off the monster. Once the danger has passed, they assist the merchant in rebuilding his damaged wagon. Stark and Sane discuss Fern's bracelet, and Stark admits that it was challenging to pick out the right gift for Fern. Sane explains the meaning behind the bracelet, and Stark, realizing the significance, apologizes to Fern for not understanding its importance. They bicker lightheartedly, but then continue helping Frieren with the wagon repairs. After assisting the merchant, Fern notices Frieren searching for Himmel's gift. Frieren assures her that she doesn't mind if they can't find it. The merchant, grateful for their help, offers Frieren a spell for locating lost accessories. Frieren, determined to find the gift, uses the spell and soars into the sky. As she searches, Frieren recalls a moment from the past when she and Himmel were in a shop looking for gifts. Himmel had been surprised when Frieren chose a ring. As they left the shop, Himmel had lovingly placed the ring on Frieren's finger. In the present, Frieren clutches the ring tightly to her chest, reflecting on the memory. She then asks Fern why Stark chose a lotus bracelet for her. Fern calls Stark an idiot in an affectionate manner, causing Stark to react with mock indignation. Despite the bickering, it's clear that their bond has grown stronger through the experience. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for upcoming episodes and recaps.